I may hate drama in my life, but I love talking about the drama in yours.
I may watch too much reality TV, but you're listening to me talk about it. What's up, everybody? This is Funmi.
And this is B.
And you are tuning into a new week of RealiTEA-V, where we try to bring reality to reality TV, but sometimes it don't work because we know y'all bitches be lying with these storylines.
Right.
So, how was the past week for you?
Really good. No complaints on this side. Everything was easy peasy. What about
Easy
you?
peasy, lemon squeezy.
Right.
It was good. I went to LA this past weekend to see my grandma and spend time with her in LA. And got back yesterday and spring break for the kids. So I dropped them off in LA, came back, went back, picked them up. But I had a week to myself, so that was full of sleeping.
That's good.
Which, I mean, it's like, that's all you would do when your kid's gone? Like, look, it takes a while to get adjusted. By the time you get adjusted, it's like, damn, gotta go get the kid again. But it was good. I know something we both did, and I kind of want to get your opinion on it, was the Acrimony. How do you think it was?
It was really good.
Uh-oh.
I said it was probably one of Tyler Perry's best movies simply because it actually, left me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I felt a certain type of way about it, when I left, and then, a day later, I was like, wait, but actually...
Yeah.
And, I've never really...
done that with one of his films.
Yeah, so it was one of those. It's like, well, you could really get into a deep discussion.
Definitely. My friend and I had a deep discussion right as soon as we left.
Yeah, it was stuff I didn't even think about, and I was like, wait, and I mean, we can have that discussion. I don't know if we just want to say, look, spoiler alert. So
it is going to be a spoiler alert because we're going to talk about it.
Okay,
we put it in the description.
Yes,
of the episode. I just feel like there was so much going on.
Yeah.
But it's so common with women, especially black women.
Yeah.
And, you always hear a little stereotypical, black women are angry and they just mad, they just jealous, they don't want me to be happy, they don't want me to see move on. But we saw this story about this woman who, Jesus have mercy. She did so much.
For that man. She did. And it was as you're sitting in the seat, you're like, don't do it, girl. Don't write that check. Don't do that. And it was she just kept doing it. But it's I haven't been there to that extreme. But it's we've been there.
Yeah.
So as much as you want to be like, girl, you stupid. But it's we've all been there. Maybe not to that degree
extreme,
or that extent. But in some ways or another, she really poured into that man and into the relationship.
Yeah.
And it was a lot.
Yeah.
She lost so much.
Yeah.
And I walked out of the theaters damn, she really went through the ringer. And then a day later, I really was thinking about it, and I was like, well, that's when, I guess, and this is, for all women, that's when it comes, you have to find a point in your life to where you are so busy on being I can't walk away because I've invested too much, I've put too much. And that's where you've got to say, you know what? I just need to cut my losses and let it go.
Exactly.
And that was her problem.
Yeah.
And then, I guess, spoiler alert, it's coming. For me, the big twist is when he basically went and repaid her everything times 10. Now that, I was I guess that could be symbolic of when women get out of a toxic relationship and they're waiting for that type of apology or
closure.
Yes. So I guess for her, that was her form of closure.
But it wasn't even really closure, because closure means you've got the answer that you've been seeking.
It should have been her sense of closure.
And you move on and you part ways. You already got a divorce.
Yeah. It should have been her closure.
Oh, no. That was the door went wide open for her.
Then it went to, so everything you promised me, you're about to give this woman, and it ultimately ended up costing you in trying to make him suffer.
Her life.
Yeah, and it's like, well, had you would have just took your $10 million and your mama's repurchased home.
And I'm sitting there like the whole movie theater, we're watching the whole thing up until he got the deal, the $75 million.
Yeah.
So this whole time, she lost her ability to have kids. She lost the money that her mom left her.
The house.
She lost the house. She
put her family's business in jeopardy.
Like, all these things for 18 years, almost 20 years, working 2 jobs for I don't know how long. I
don't even think she had finished college.
Because it didn't know. They never showed the graduation.
When they showed like him graduating, it was her in the stands, and I'm like, I thought y'all were both in college.
Yeah.
So
she probably was spending all her time, and then it was like, this bitch paid $73,000 for his last year in school.
Yeah. And
just rolled out a check, and it's like, okay, we know that she didn't know what was right or wrong, or what she should have did and what she shouldn't have done.
But it was like, at what point in them 20 years?
But this is where it comes to when you're being raised. Like, this is how you raise your children.
Yeah.
And when it comes to your daughters, the man has to show why he is worthy of doing certain things.
Right. But then I noticed, like, when her sisters was trying to tell her, like, her older sister was like, our dad did this and this and this to, like, keep the house up and stuff like that. So it never went into her family's backstory. But it seemed like, for the most part, like, she did have, like, a hardworking father who was in the house. And
yeah. But the thing about that, you can have a parents that have been married for 40 years.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they necessarily know that they have to instill in you what you shouldn't put up with.
Right.
Because they didn't go through it together.
Yeah.
Dad never was that type of person to mom.
Yeah.
Where mom was pouring her heart into whatever the situation was. And he was just not giving it all.
Yeah.
Because so sometimes you do have positive role models.
Yeah.
Kind of like the episode of Insecure where Yvonne's character, what is the character's name?
Starts with an M.
Molly.
Yes.
So Molly has this idea of what a perfect relationship a marriage is because of her parents. So she's trying to seek this out. Unbeknownst to her dad cheated on her mom.
Right.
Way back in the day.
Right, which is very true. But I will say that at least from that little dialogue, you got that you grew up in a house where your dad handled his shit and took care and provided for the family. So you out here busting your ass for a man who's not even holding down basic jobs to take care of you. You weren't, at least that part, you weren't raised to have to see.
Right. I think she just never knew that you don't do things to get out of something out of somebody.
Right.
And that's something she didn't know. I mean, she saw her dad, but she probably didn't realize that her dad never did these things because mom did stuff for him to pull it out of him. He just did that on his own.
Yeah.
So she's trying to be that woman that stands by her man, that, never leaves him and wants him to know that she's always going to be there. It's like, well, I'm going to write that check. I'm going to make sure you stay in school. I'm going to make sure your dreams happen because I'm that woman.
Yeah.
But then you forget yourself.
And it's killing you.
And then you get resentful. You get hateful. You get to the point where she had to get enraged and take her Jeep and ram it into that RV.
Yeah.
And flip it over and lose the ability to have children.
Yeah.
At 20.
Right.
It's crazy.
And then it's like, well, I guess that should have been some type of, I guess, not premonition, but just kind of premise to, like, when you get mad or so angry, you get so enraged and so consumed in revenge that you don't even think of the possible outcomes. Like, granted, yes, she was young during that first part, but it's like nowhere in the movie did she ever stop to say, like, in my attempts to fuck their life up, Last time I went on this, you know, path of like, I'm going to get you back, you end up fucking yourself over to where you can't have kids. Like, somewhere, and I guess it's where I kind of was like, dang, I'm not as sympathetic for as I thought, because it's like, where in your 20-year point of dealing with this do you say... Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Mm-hmm. And then what it was of what you initially left him for wasn't even for what he was even doing. Right. Like, you were so like, how dare you cheat on me? And I was like... crazy. And that was like the one thing they never said if he did or didn't, but it was really kind of like, okay, I really don't think he was cheating. But all the other stuff.
And this is the one part you focus on, is this woman when there's 18 years worth of other stuff.
Everything. He just damn near cost your family their business.
Right. I feel like the reason why it enraged her so much is like, even though he was doing all that bullshit for 18 years, the fact that she felt like another woman was benefiting from what she has put up with for 18 years is what pissed her off. Yeah. Like, I do all of this for you. Yeah. And then you go out and be with some other bitch.
Pretty much everything you told me about that you and me were going to have, you pretty much went and just replaced her with somebody else. I could understand that sting. Mm-hmm. I can understand that rage.
Well, she felt that rage twice.
Yeah. And it's like, so that's when you take your $10 million and go on you a 2-month eat, pray, love journey. Right. To discover how you got no kids
to get a daycare, provided for.
And never do that. And then you come back, you move wherever you want, and you have yourself a good old non-working life because you did 20 years.
Did you see how she was so enraged in her new A8? Yeah.
Right.
She's doing all bitch. This. I'm like,
she spent some of that money.
She sure did. I was like, well, this bitch got a brand new A8L. Like, I was telling my friend, like, once it got to the point where he came to the job, he pointed out everything that I have been waiting for him to appreciate about me in the 18 years I've been with him. Mm-hmm. He gave me that. He gave me the money because during the divorce, 10. She wanted $1.2 million, which was all the money that over time.
That's how you know you angry. I spent $1.2 million, $600.
Girl, they went out down to the 61 cents. And her mom's house, like, he came back, apologized. I was like, you know what? I know I didn't do anything I was supposed to do. I wasn't the man that you were supposed to be.
Gave it back times 10.
I'm going to give you this check, $10 million fucking dollars. Bought your mama's house back. Because he knew that was your family's pride and joy, and said, I'm sorry. I would have been straight.
I would have been like, want to get back together maybe? Actually, no, probably wouldn't have been, because it probably still would have been a whole bunch of like animosity. So no, I probably wouldn't. I would have took my money very happy. I probably would have gave him the biggest hug and goodbye kiss. Maybe even some goodbye sex, just because I have a $10 million check. But then just went on my way.
It's crazy because you know how she like all of a sudden wanted to get back with him. Yeah. It still happens in the real world because some people don't take it as closure. They take it as, oh, finally, this is all that I've been needing. This is the man
I've been waiting for.
Well, not even that. It's just like, this is the words I've been waiting for you to tell me. To show that you appreciated me being with you, broke, childless, sleepless for all this time. And now that I have that, now we can move forward to the place that we are trying to be at. Because he had been promising that penthouse apartment on the top, a yacht, a private jet, and he was so determined to get that. Mm-hmm. And now she's like, well, I got what I needed from all this time. We can finally have the private jet, the penthouse apartment. But she already went through the divorce. Right. He gonna move on and go to her because she was like, no, you're going to do this. You're going to get that prototype done. Right. You're going to and she was that woman that, quote unquote, believed in him.
Right. But it's like she didn't have 18 years of believing in you. She was easy to come, like, no, you're going to do this. Because she only had put in, like, what, a month or two? Mm-hmm. So,
and that goes to something I saw on Facebook today. Is like, it was like a long post somebody had posted and it got circulated, went viral or whatever. And it was like, women, sucking a man's dick is not going to make him stay. Paying bills is not going to make him stay. No. The only thing that's going to make him stay is him wanting to stay with you. So it just comes to a point where wife number 2 just kind of came around at the perfect time. Yeah. It wasn't that he never loved his wife. It wasn't that, he didn't want to do anything for his wife. It's just that the timing just was crazy. Yeah. But she thinks of, like, you've been waiting to get with this person for the past 18 years. And I've been waiting for you to promise me, to give me what you promised me. And
yeah, it was a lot.
It was like, I felt sorry for her all the way up until she got that check in the house. Yeah. After that, it was like, baby girl, this all on you.
Yeah, it's your chance. And then, I was like, wait, so now she's, well, in her mind, and probably in other people's minds, it's like, oh my God, you're a victim. You've been done so wrong. It was like, even before he gave you the check, which, I mean, I guess, because probably had you would have left maybe 15 years ago, you probably wouldn't have got that check. You probably would have been a fart in the wind as far as his memories. But at some point, he wasn't abusive. He wasn't, you guys didn't have kids, so it wasn't a for the kids situation. It was not saying marriage is nothing, so you could just easily walk away, but you had 20 years essentially to be like, you know what, I want more for this, and you didn't. So I can't really say poor baby for 20 years. No, was, because like you were saying, at some point you do have to say enough is enough. Right. You're the breadwinner, so it's not like, dang, if he leaves and I don't have a way to. Yeah. No, I mean, and then she was grown as hell. And then the people were like, well, they were married. They should, work out their marriage. It's like, everybody saw that movie. They shouldn't have gotten married in the first fucking place. Yeah. It's always they should work on their marriage when the man ain't holding his weight. Right? It's always, well, you're married. Let her would have been a deadbeat, fucking all his friends and just spending all the money and just. Oh, he would have left 15 years ago. He wouldn't have put up with that stuff. So it's just like he was so selfish for so long. Yeah. And she was so selfless. And it's like a horrible mix because she's pouring out and being literally drained. Yeah. And he's just taking it and wasting it. Thing. Like, oh, I need $50,000 for this. I need $10,000 for that. Oh, the lecture bill was $1,000 last month. Right. She better than me when when it first started, when he was like, well, what if they call and I don't have a way to get there? You know what? We're going to download this Uber app. I will put $50 in your credit, so when they call, boom, you push that button. But this is based in the 80s. Look, I will give you cab money. Call a cab. Yellow cab. 800 yellow cab. And then 24,000 for a car. Oh, you would have went. What happened to a used car? Right. $4,000, 80,000 miles. You only need to get to the interview. You don't need. The fact that, and then the last was like, she had $350,000 from her mom. And she burned through that before she was 24. Her mom died when she was 20. To go through $350,000 and then your parents' house is paid off. For, so you're not paying rent. You're not paying rent. You're just pretty much paying utilities and property tax. And all for what? I mean, you can't, just like women say you can't buy love from women, you can't buy man's love either, or feed his love, or it's not going to work. And of course, since remember when they first met, he was like, well, I don't want people just keep leaving me. And of course, she's like, well, I'll never leave you. And that's, oh, look at her face. This face. I'm not Rose. Right? Actually, I am Rose. So I'll never let go. 10 seconds later, bitch, I gotta let go. The boat's here. I thought I could hang, but I can't. Boat's here. Gotta go.
I mean, I would let you on this door, but I feel like with both of us on here, it's going to sink. And I feel like my life is better than yours. Survive. Right? So it was, I will say, out of all strictly Tyler Perry movies, it was one of the better ones.
Yeah, it wasn't that extreme where it's like, wait a minute.
It was full of shit.
Right. You done raped your sister and now she has a baby that's really like...
Lord.
It wasn't as extreme as like all the other
It wasn't as
like,
stage play.
Yeah.
Because I think he always had a hard transition going from stage play to movies, and it still felt stage play. But my personal favorite Tyler Perry movie is... The Family That Prays.
Yeah.
With Kathy Bates and Alfred Woodard. And Sanaa was in it. Yeah, she was. But those are the two heavy hitters I'm thinking about. So Alfred Woodard and Kathy Bates. I love Kathy Bates. You know, Misery is one of my favorite movies. But that's my favorite. And I feel most done right Tyler Perry movie.
Right.
All the other ones, and this one I would say is on the top of the list. So, it was good because there was a lot of discussions.
Yeah.
You can definitely have a long discussion on a Facebook post or Instagram post about the situation, because at one point, man or woman, honestly, at what point do you have to say enough is enough? Right. At what point do you say, this is not worth my sanity?
Which is what we say every week, talking about these people on these reality shows.
And that's mainly the reason why I'm bringing it up. I know we're not like a movie podcast or anything, but this has a lot to deal with the same things we talk about from the shows that we watch. Mm-hmm. And
it's like you can only be the victim, poor baby, for so long.
For so long.
Until where it's like, well, girl or man... You have a mind of your own. Like, what?
Yeah. You can't, you can't do anything for anyone for them to change. They have to be able to recognize and understand themselves.
Right.
So there's nothing you can pay for. There's no child you can watch.
Right.
There's no children that you can bear.
Right.
To fix something of another person.
Yeah.
You can never... show them that you're worth something if they don't see it for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the whole situation about that. I mean, his thing was, it wasn't that he didn't care about her necessarily. He just focused so much on what he wanted.
He was so oblivious
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Her
wants and needs.
Yeah. He knew that his product was amazing. But he didn't think that there's other things that I have to do, especially as a husband.
Right.
To make sure that I'm taking care of the household.
Straight. Yeah.
And obviously, he didn't really know how to be a man since before they got married. Mm-hmm. Living in the RV. He didn't tell her about him being a felon until after they got married. Like, things of that nature. It's like, both of them didn't want to take time to get to know the other person.
Right.
They were so fixated on, I care about you. She's fixated on the fact that he took her virginity.
Girl, look, let that cherry get popped and go on your way.
Because he didn't pop some other ones, obviously.
It happens to the best of us.
And, the first
you pop
time...
and you learn.
The first time you cheated on me, I'm like... I just bought you a car. Mm-hmm. A brand new car, cash.
And you probably went and picked that bitch up, too.
Meaning you have no fucking car note. Exactly.
Maybe a down
That
payment.
face, maybe. I'm going to be like
and
Vicky.
I'm not co-signing.
Vicky Govell, so I got you a car. The payment's $500 a month.
Like, it starts next month. Good luck.
You got 45 days. Like, right. That's different. So, okay, well, you helped me, but I still have to provide for my note.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was probably in his name to where she couldn't, like, take the keys or take the car legally because
she take the car, she getting arrested.
Right. There's no Jody and Yvette situation where she take her that probably was.
And
his
it was
car.
like every time she was signing some shit over, he just there with a smile, like, do it. Mm-hmm. It's like your mama at the McDonald's line. Because it's like, get my nuggets.
She said nuggets. Because it's like every time she did something, she's like, well, maybe this time he'll see how good of a person I am. And it's like, that's not what he's focused on. He's focused on still finishing school. He's still focusing on this battery. Product. He's still trying to focus on getting that apartment up there. He can't love you because that's not going to pay for the apartment.
Right.
And that's why he's so fixated on that. So I don't think he never, like, loved her, appreciated her. I think he was just so focused on what he wanted.
Yeah.
Since before.
Right. And it's like
the
relationship was based upon, I guess, like, making him happy. Like, that's the
yeah.
It was never really doing anything where it was like, okay, all she said was, like, he was there for her when her dad died. But the relationship, it just seemed so one-sided. Yeah. Like, even when he was like, he finally, well, not finally, but when he asked her to marry him, he wasn't even able to go buy a ring.
That's what she said. He didn't even give me a ring. It was like some bubblegum candy ring that's supposed to symbolize all this
And it's like,
shit.
even if you, I mean, there's credited Zales.
Something.
Or, you know, but I'm just like, even if it was like,
JCPenney or something,
you know,
get something from there.
I know it's only like a $500 ring or what, something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he was so, because, you know, once y'all get married, what's yours is now his, meaning that money.
You know, the conversation I'm afraid that's going to take place with this movie is the conversation that a lot of men have. It's like, well, see, if she would have stuck around and held him down, she would have been able to have all this stuff that he promised her. It's like, that's not the point of the movie.
So you're saying, which it comes back to that whole, you know, what we just said. Like, a woman is just supposed to be there and drain her life away. It wasn't like they was together for 2 years. Like, girl, this is 20 fucking years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, well, should have stayed a little longer. You know what? Let me drain the life out of you for 20 years.
Right.
And then let me go and hit the lottery for, you know, $10 million. Are you going to be like, well, damn, should have stuck around 10 million? You're not going to say that?
No.
Well, the deadbeat in them might say it.
Right,
yeah. Should have let her drain, suck me dry a little bit.
Right, because it's like, of course, you can be greedy, but, like, she could have been like, fuck, he gave me $10 million, but they gave him a thing for, mind you, that's just the initial licensing of the actual battery.
It was like, oh, you're going to that
didn't have
forever.
Anything to do with further projects or profit from using the actual
you're
battery.
You're going to be set for life.
Right. And they tried to only sell it for him for $800,000. And that would have pissed me off too. Like, nigga, they were going to give you a check for $800,000 and you know I just lost my mama's house because I'm trying to help your ass? Like, how can you put yourself ahead of everything that me and my family has done for you?
Yeah.
And of course,
and
that
then
would have
the
pissed
two
me
men
off.
in the family probably would have whooped his ass too. Like, I know it's your husband, but he's about to catch these hands.
Yeah.
Like, because now you messing with the church's money.
Right.
And that's when it's like, okay, well, I kind of got to jump in and beat your ass too because, okay, you can fuck me over. But when it gets to the points where you start fucking innocent people over that's trying to help us, then it's like, oh, you just really don't care. That's when it was like, okay.
Yeah, it was just so much. But
and it's like and it's like, it's not even like he changed his ways. The only thing is that now he has money. Now he has, and that's something I didn't even think about. Now he has money. Now he can go out and buy all the possessions and take the trips and everything he wanted. That doesn't necessarily mean his character hasn't changed.
You know what? That's a great point.
That doesn't mean he still ain't still a selfish ass bastard.
I mean, but even if you fast forward 20 years, the thing that she fell in love with was the dream that he was selling her.
Very true.
It was never the fact that he wanted to be in a committed relationship with someone that he loves to talk to and have good conversations with, someone who is like his best friend.
Yeah.
It was, well, you're here. You gave me the cookies. I'm about to build this battery. You want in? That's kind of how it was. And it was never like, I want to love you. So even though he was getting ready to marry the second woman, he never really established any type of love for these women.
No.
It was just well, let me pay you for being there at the moment.
Or, oh, now I finally have someone by my side to share all
of it with.
But it's like, because even so, it's like, let's say I do have, because it really seemed like he really just wanted a woman there for all these dreams that he's had way before. Mm-hmm. Because, honestly, she was like, even that ring right there is the same ring. And it was like, yeah, it kind of is, like, exactly the one that you described giving Taraji all these years. It was like, I'm going to get a boat, and I'm going to name it after you. Oh, but now I have a new wife, so I'm going to name it after you. Or now we're going to get married here.
But it's the same, it's the same like, boutique, same everything. So it wasn't, that's what I'm saying. He was so fixated on the dream and being able to do... It didn't matter who filled it. Yeah, it didn't matter if it was a man, probably. Yeah. He would have done the exact same things with that woman. Yeah. And because she thought it was specific to her, it made her feel like, well, this bitch is getting everything that I'm supposed to be getting. Right. But in actuality, he never really was trying to do something for you. He was just wanted to do what he wanted to do, and you were the person he was going to give it to at the time. Yeah. So it was just like, I'm not about to get no restraining order for nobody. I'm not about to, get arrested for nobody. It's not that serious. But I definitely don't want to. I will always want to make sure, like, who I'm about to marry. Yeah. I'll make sure that I don't have a loveless marriage. Yeah. Or relationship before that, because I'm not about to go through all that bullshit. Yeah. At the end of the day, you can have all the money in the fucking world. Right.
Because your problems are still going to rise. It's just going to be in a different form. Right. So.
I mean, I can cry in a mansion, but it's like, I can have the mansion, the cars, and the trips, and the yacht, and the penthouse, and all that. But at the end of the day, if I'm in there by myself and, like, I can't even get a hug or a kiss out of my husband, I'm not going to want to stay in the marriage. And that's why so many people who have money get these divorces. Yeah. Look at 45. He's on his third marriage and he's president. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't mean anything. He's a billionaire, but that doesn't mean anything. He can still get divorced tomorrow because they felt like you don't love me no more. All right, leave it. Yeah. Stuff like that. All that really, really, really does matter. Mm-hmm. But I think we have to teach our children, our daughters, to know what's love and what's like materialism or a dream that's being sold to you. Yeah. Because you can't do all of that. I don't know. I'm real iffy when it comes to a guy with money. Yeah. Because it's like, well, I can do this and I can do that. It's like, cool. But if you come at me sideways, I'm chopping off something. Yeah. I'm not going to put up, like, I don't care how much money you have. Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to respect me. You have to appreciate me for who I am and what I do. Right. And what I do, it's not something you can buy with a Rolex. It's not something you can buy with an A8. It's not anything like that.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
That face like, bitch, what? No,
maybe
I want
just a little bit.
I know you want
not a lot. But just
I know you want your A7. Right. I know that is your car.
Just a little.
That is something you.
Money can't buy me. But maybe you can finance me for a little bit.
I mean, if you can get my BMW Alpine B7, I mean, I'll probably just give you more head than you. Right. But,
can't buy me. Maybe you can finance me. I'm going to get a shirt that says that. You can't buy me.
But you can find me.
Maybe you can finance me a little bit.
Make payments.
Right. Right. Little finance never hurt
just
nobody.
Put a deposit of a purse. Deposit of a purse, and then we can work our way down the line with but yeah, I mean, those things are nice. Yeah. Like getting all that stuff is nice, but at the end of the day, no relationship or marriage is going to last if the other person doesn't feel love. AKA Simone and Cecil. No. Out of all the stuff they could have got a divorce for, Simone's issue was that I don't feel like you love me, and that's it. Like, that's her main issue. I mean, besides Tammy, which is a pretty significant issue, but her main issue was, my husband doesn't tell me he loves me. Yeah. And that's like, that's just deep. Like, oh, that's it? No, you have to understand.
That's actually that's what it should be over.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. I don't want to be anything that's loveless. Yeah. You can love me and you can buy me stuff, but you have to love me too at the end of the day. Period. But I do want my house. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have my dream car and I have the house. If I had to pick either or, it would probably be the house.
Oh, yeah.
Because I need to be able to wake up and I'm just like in paradise. Right. Or want to open the French doors to the backyard and sit by the pool and, get a little more chocolate than I already am. Right. Stuff like that. But anyway, I mean, like I said, we're not a movie podcast, but I felt like it's very significant for the conversation we had, especially last week dealing with the whole Kirk and Rashida situation. And by the way, I did not get the chance to watch last night's episode. I was being in LA this past weekend. I always get backed up in watching stuff, but I did catch up on Black Ink last week.
Yeah,
and I just find it, the way Sky has been behaving has been making me cringe.
Oh yeah.
For someone who has been accused of lying in her whole situation with Genesis, for her to accuse Young Bae about lying about her abusive father and living in a shipping container, it's like...
And that really shows to Young Bae's character, too. Maybe they truly, genuinely didn't know at the time. Well, I'm pretty sure they had at least heard what blogs was saying by that time. Mm-hmm. But for her to have not been like, I know you ain't calling me a liar when you lying on your... no one to have not thrown that back in her face.
Yeah.
That speaks very big of them because...
Yeah.
I would have said some low blows, and people would have been like, kids are off limits. I don't give a fuck when it comes to her.
Yeah.
She's just one of those
my
people.
abusive father was off limits. She didn't think that was off limits, so I'm going to bring up you and your kid.
Yeah.
So, and I just find every time she was... This whole thing about her being pissed off that Teddy touches any vagina
it's bullshit.
Or lips, both sets of Black Ink has just been... really utterly ridiculous.
It's been years.
She even know Donna fucked him, and she's best friends with her now. So if you can be best friends with her eventually, what is the problem with anybody else?
Is it because they're doing it on the show, and maybe the Donna Teddy situation kind of happened where didn't nobody know about it until they said it at one of them reunion specials? I don't know, but it's it seems so pointless because it's not it's y'all just stopped messing around 6 months ago.
It's been years.
It's been a couple years.
Probably at least 3.
Yeah.
At least 3. But yeah, I kind of find it to be kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of you can feel sorry for her. To a point.
She makes it very hard.
To a point, because that is something that can be hard when you adopt children and you can't take care of them. However, it comes to a point where, all right, you just have to kind of own up to what you did.
Yeah. And
kind of just be accountable for what you were doing.
Yeah.
Because... you had kids young, but you still have to be accountable for the fact that you had kids young.
And that's why people say, if you are going to give somebody up for adoption, you need to do it when they're born.
Yeah.
Because he was 6, so he remembers vividly.
Yeah.
So that probably hurts even worse. And then... I know she was saying, I know I gave him a better life. Maybe she probably gave him a better life than what she
would have did, but he still winded up in jail.
Having, a hard life. And not having nobody there for them.
Yeah. I mean, he still winded up in jail and everything, so...
And even when he breaks down, it's I just wanted my mom.
I know, it's just so heartbreaking more for him, because what he's saying, I feel, is so simple, but she wants to make it more complicated than it is. And something that because a girl used to record Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil gave me life. I need to catch up on it, by the way, anyway. But one thing that he and Iyanla say is, you kind of own up to your stuff. You can't give excuses as to why you have been gone for 15 years.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to say, you know what? I was gone for 15 years. I should have come and talked to you or come and got you and got my situation better sooner. And I apologize for that. What can I do for us to be able to move forward? Something like that. Not, I lived in shelters. I was in and out of jail. I didn't get all this money until now. It's all he hearing is want, 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 want. All he's going to say is, so what?
Yeah.
I'm still your child. So what? And being that he was older, like, 6,
Yeah.
he remembers his
Vividly.
mom.
It's not as if you gave him up when he was a baby.
Yeah.
And then he found out.
And maybe he was just wondering who is my mom? I wonder what she looks like, or I wonder how she talks, or he knew you. He knew his grandmother. He had friends in New York. He was going to school probably. Yeah. He knew neighbors. Like, he knew everything in his surroundings.
Right.
And then you didn't just adopt him. You took him from everything he knew and put him somewhere else. And then the next time he sees or hears about you, it's on TV getting tits, ass, and pussy.
Yeah.
And that's her son.
Yeah.
And now he's in jail looking at his mom getting a vagina. And he's like, well, why are you not contacting me and get me out this motherfucker? Like, I don't want to be in this jail.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. I kind of feel like she cries and she's upset, which I understand. But even the way she talks about him, like, this little nigga, like, she doesn't respond as if she's a mother. She kind of just responds as, like, the biological.
Yeah.
How they're nicknamed, like the biological. Yeah, you gave birth to me. You're the reason why I was born, but I don't see herself really being that motherly figure. Because it's just, I don't know. But it just makes me feel, how she's been treating everybody, and because I'm going through some things, like,
I don't give a fuck.
That's some shit that you've been saying, some hard, rough shit. Especially about Young Bae and putting your hands on Teddy, because if Teddy swung, which I don't think he would ever do to a woman, if he would have swung, he'd be wrong. He wound up being in jail. Well, I don't find her being a snitch. Yeah. But it could have happened to where authorities would have got the tape or the episode and they would have saw and pressed charges.
Or he would have just been known, oh, you woman beater. Or,
like his reputation would have been all fucked up.
Yeah.
And I just didn't really understand all of that. And that was like the 4 or 5 episodes I caught up on was all Sky being a bitch. Yeah. And it's like, weren't you talking shit about Duchess doing this kind of stuff? Yeah. I don't even think Duchess was this bad.
No.
I think the most she talked about was like Sky's kids, like way when she was still on the show and it first popped up. Yeah. And everybody was like, that's kind of foul or whatever. Yeah. But that was before people saw the interview and kind of got more details of the situation. And like I said before, she just needs to stop having this conversation on camera. Yeah. She needs to go to Iyanla over there. I honestly feel like they need to fix their life. Yeah. Because he doesn't know how to express himself without leaving.
Yeah. Or at least to her.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to do it with her. Like, he opens
she was like, I don't understand why you're talking. And I'm like, I think he kind of in his mind is like, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to say this, this, and this. And I feel like when he sees her, he just kind of freezes up and anger comes over him. Yeah. Like, when I rewatched the last episode, and then I was like, okay, I saw how he talked to C's and everything. And I'm like, I think he has a lot he wants to say to you, but it's just when he sees you.
He said, he said 1 billion words to Caesar in comparison to what he said to Sky.
Even on the interview, like. Yeah. Yeah.
But when he sees her, he just sees red or something like that. And tell her I hate her. Yeah. And he probably feel like he does. I think his only concern that he's been able to get out or voice is the fact that, why were you gone for 15 years? I needed my mom. Like, you are my mom. I wouldn't give up my kids. Yeah. You do stuff with your kids together. Because there are some people who live in a car with their children. I mean, yes, it's not the best thing. You don't want your kids to live in a car. But at the end of the day, it's like, you still want to be able to still protect your children as best as you can at that time. Right. So I feel like it's like, well, did you want to live in a shelter with her? Did you want to, be in foster care because she got arrested and couldn't take care of you? It's like,
he could have been a lot worse.
He don't know, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know that. All he cares about is that his mom left him, and he doesn't care why. So he doesn't know what could have been if he stayed with Sky. Yeah. But all he knows is that he didn't have the opportunity to figure out what it would have been.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. That whole situation is kind of weird. It's nothing really other, like, anything other that happened on the show that was any type of significance.
Yeah.
On Black Ink, I mean, Young Bray's pregnant.
Yeah. Getting married.
I wouldn't want to get married in 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
I don't care if I'm pregnant.
Yeah, she was like, well, I wouldn't want to get married pregnant.
I wouldn't want to get married pregnant, but I wouldn't want to get married in 2 weeks either.
No.
There's,
I mean, if I got it like that, then yeah. But, no.
I don't think I'll be able to get all the stuff I want.
Yeah, it was like you'd have to be on, shit, I hate to bring him up, literally Jay-Z and Beyonce status. I think they got married like 3 weeks after he proposed or something.
Right, but they could have got married.
Yeah, it's like
could have went anywhere in the world.
On their status, they was like, well, we want it private as possible, so it has to be as quick as possible.
Right.
We have the money, so it ain't like we got to save up to afford the venue deposit.
Yeah, we got more than the deposit.
Right. We can have stuff flown in from other countries by tomorrow. So
exactly.
Yeah, but just being a regular old me, no. That's why when she finally was like, I could just wait till after I'm pregnant. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm like, I felt like when you went and tried on dresses, I feel like either Donna or Kitty had said, like, why don't you just wait till after? And she's like, no, I want a shotgun wedding because I will not be fat. I'm like,
I feel like it was more than that. I feel like it's more about the fact that she didn't want to have a kid out of wedlock.
That could have been it.
But she didn't want to say
Especially seeing,
that.
like, her mom.
Yeah, that's like
culturally,
it's like if you have the opportunity to get married before the kid's there, then you will do that.
Right.
Because it absolves any premarital sex that you have with the person.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't... Yeah,
best of luck to her.
I mean, definitely best of luck to her. Oh, and that's the other thing. The situation with Donna was pretty sad.
Yeah.
About her having an atopic pregnancy. And it kind of like, not only took an ovary, not only a fallopian tube, but part of her uterus.
Yeah.
Like, it was that bad. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because that also happened to Remy mom, but that was the second time it happened to her. So it took both of her ovaries and fallopian tubes. I don't think it took her ovaries. I think it took her fallopian tubes at least, minimum.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like you have to do IVF. So, but I'm like, damn, that kind of sucks, you know? But I mean, protect yourself if you don't want to even have a scare of being pregnant. I think an IUD or a condom or something of that nature will help you not have the scare. That's the last thing you want.
That reminds me. Gotta make an appointment. But yeah. You are right. Protect yourself.
I can't believe you just said
Protect yourself, fool.
Protect yourself. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Now, I mean, I've had a child, so as soon as my child came out, the IUD went in. Like, nope, 5 years. I'm good. I'm not trying to have no kids no time soon. Yes, it happened. I love my child, but we're not going to have any type of surprises anymore.
Right.
But then again, it's like not just about the surprise. It's like things like that. It's a lot to go through with someone who you don't have like a real deep, significant bond or relationship with. Not necessarily the length, because sometimes the length doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you haven't taken the effort to really build that bond up, and that can really tarnish a relationship, you know, something like that. Like, I really wanted that baby and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, she didn't know she was pregnant. Next minute, she found out she was pregnant, but lost the baby. And she lost her ability to really successfully, healthily carry the next child when she's actually ready. It's just, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I don't know, just got to be careful, you know, with your health. And I feel like some people have this mentality of like nothing's going to happen to them, and they kind of forget. Like, you know that you're supposed to be using the condom, but you're so in the heat of the moment that you don't. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm always going to protect myself. But you know, you be having moments where it's like, so we didn't, We didn't use that condom.
No.
And
I can't take it. We'll make an appointment next week.
As a person who had a surprise baby, I am telling you out there, podcast world, make sure that you don't even get a scare. If you guys are planning to have a bundle of joy, go ahead. Have the babies or twins that you don't know you're about to. Be happy, be merry, practice all day, all night if you want to. But if you are not trying to have a child soon, you're going to have to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's what she
I
said.
chose the IUD route. If you feel like pills aren't the best thing because you forget, day one and you skip a day and, you wind up being pregnant anyway, then IUD is best. I heard the Depo shot is bullshit.
Yeah.
I've heard too many people who had the Depo shot and they got pregnant anyway.
Yeah.
And they got fat. It's like, I'm already fat. I don't need to do anything else. If I get fat, it should be strictly from food, not a shot.
Right.
It's supposed to prevent me from getting pregnant. So you're not going to get pregnant, but you're going to get fat without the actual enjoyment of eating.
That sucks.
Doesn't that suck? It's like I'm fat, but I've ate nothing.
Right.
No, I'm not doing such a thing. At least I'm enjoying myself, my waistline getting bigger. But moving on. Another show I caught up on was Teen Mom. Mm-hmm. Last time we talked about it, Fear is finally gone. No, it was before that, the last time we talked about it. So the episode after that, they had this long talk to Farrah pretty much saying, hey, if you do these videos, you can do them, but you cannot continue with us sharing your story.
Right.
And the guy, so I actually saw Morgan, Morgan J. Freeman.
Right.
He was actually there. So I'm like, okay, Big Boss. Right. Big Boss is there.
Yeah.
And he went with, I want to say, what's the other guy producer's name? Larry.
Yeah.
It was him. No, it wasn't Larry. I think it was another executive producer.
Yeah.
And they met at her home. Well, technically Michael's home. And kind of had a discussion like, we have to worry about treating people a good way. And she's like, I've always treated people with nothing but respect. And it's like,
nothing to hide.
And he was like, nothing to hide.
Fucking Carly Rae.
And he was like, I don't know. Like, he was like, she was like, I'm pretty sure there are other producers, because she wanted a new producer immediately. And he was like, we can't just get a producer at this snap of your fingers. She's like, I'm pretty sure there's other producers that are just ready to work for MTV. Just call them up and hire them. And it's like, she has just such a elitist attitude for someone all they did was porn and have a kid when they were 16.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you've
done.
You haven't, created a nonprofit.
You know what? If I was Sophia when I got older, you know what? I'd even start sending out, bitch, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have none of this. I would. And I wonder what she'd say.
Knowing her, well, sweetie, I mean, I'm the one who gave birth to you, so yeah, it's kind of like me. But if it wasn't
for my sperm, then...
My sperm?
Wait, ooh, see, this is why.
My dad's sperm.
Yes.
Who's dead?
He is.
I'm going to have to find that clip of when she was on 16 when pregnant and she was talking mad shit about him. I feel like...
Yeah.
Because she talks about Daddy Derek like he was the best thing since sliced bread.
And I remember on the show...
She vividly did not want anything to do with him.
Pregnant,
yes.
Yeah. Before they got their spinoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, first season of 16 and Pregnant. They've been on TV for 10 years.
Yeah. It was before there was a Teen Mom.
Yes. Because they only had 16 and Pregnant at the time. Very first season.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how she didn't want anything to do with him. He wasn't going to be around Sophia. He was trash. They were still in high school.
I remember that.
And stuff. And I'm like, when did it get to the point where she cries and talks about Daddy Derek and he was such a good person and if he was alive, I would be married? I'm like...
And she'd probably do that to like her parents when they die.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, she kind of does it now. Like, she'll talk a whole bunch of shit to her parents in their face.
Yeah.
But then when they're away, she's always, like, calling them back to see if they can help with Sophia. It's like she likes to push and pull. Because she doesn't feel happy about herself. I mean, obviously, she has all these fucking surgeries. She looks like a hot-ass mess.
Yeah.
She looks like old girl from Futurama.
She does.
Especially when she got her lip got in allergic reaction when she got
really
Botox
did.
or something. And she looked like, what was her name? I want to say it started with an L.
I know. Once you say Futurama, you automatically know.
And that was my shit.
She has a ponytail.
Yes.
Right.
One eye, big boobs,
Yeah,
and...
you know.
Yeah, and a big top lip. What was her name? That was my shit. Did you watch Futurama when it was on?
Some episodes.
I watched it, like, faithfully.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, she did look like
Bender was probably... He's like the equivalent of Stewie from Family Guy. And then, like, there's always one person in each series that makes it funny.
Yeah.
That was Bender. The beer drinking drunk robot.
Right.
Who was supposed to be built for other functions, but all he did was get drunk off his ass.
Right.
And bend stuff every now and then. My shit. Anyway.
Right.
So she tried to use this whole, you know, your sex shaming card. Like, you don't have the right to tell me what I can and can't do with my sexual life. He's like, well, no, we're not telling you what you do. We're just saying that if you do that, you can't do this. You can't do both.
Right.
We're not going to be able to continue telling your story if that's a part of your story. We're not going to say anything about that. Because she was selling, like, foot fetish videos and, like, anal videos. And he was like, well, we had a discussion a while ago. So you said that was, like, one of the worst things that happened to your life because you got conned into it with someone you were dating at the time and blah, 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 blah. You said that you weren't going to do it. That was far behind you. And then you go do this 6 years later.
Right.
So no, you need money. Now you're sucked into it because you see how much money you could really get from it.
Right.
Because even before then, she had did like anal vagina molding or something like that, but it wasn't like video. So I guess they were like, okay, well, that's like pushing the line, but it's not something that we're going to be like, we can't film with you.
Yeah.
But you have videos of yourself out there.
Yeah.
And they have film of you doing other stuff. He's like, we can't connect those two. We don't want to be a part of that. So it's one thing, it's like, you get pregnant on your own, and then they're like, well, we can tell your story for you about being a young mom. Okay, cool. But we're not about to sit here. This ain't true life.
Yeah, no.
Where it's like my life as a young mom porn superstar. Like, no. Like that was my shit, too.
Mm-hmm. That was a good show.
It really was.
Yeah, it's like for her to be like, well, I'm going to sue you guys. It's like,
she sued them for $5 million.
Okay, you can create a lawsuit. As far as it's gonna go,
say discrimination, gender bias.
Yeah,
it's like all right.
Like even in the WWE, China is now no longer recognized at all as a wrestler. Like you can't, I guess, unless people sell their own personal like merchandise or anything.
Because she had a sex tape, right?
Yeah. Once she did that, it was I don't even think it was like a sex tape. I think it was actual like porn.
Oh.
Like, hello, come in. Like
I'm
one
China.
Right, yeah. And it was like, no, you no longer exist.
And that's kind of what led her to, like, her drug abuse. Yeah, and depression
They're
and stuff.
They're like, we don't play that shit.
They don't play that shit now.
At all.
Man.
Because at the end of the day, they still are a family-ran company.
True. They are.
So.
Because I remember it was like generations of like the chairman. First it was this guy, then it was his son.
Oh, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
I used to love WWF. I started watching it strictly in 6th grade. I was sat at this table with like these Mexican boys, and they were always talking about wrestling. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
It really was the thing to talk about when we were younger.
And then they start talking about like people, and I'm like, this that's what they be talking about. And I was just like...
Didn't come on, what, Fridays?
It was Monday night and Thursday night.
Okay.
It was like... And then I laid eyes on the rock, and I was like, oh, so this is what a man with muscles looks like. And it was just...
And he just got more and more beautiful throughout the years.
He did. Like, yeah.
I wonder if he'll ever go back to wearing Speedos.
Right. Right. And then, like, I had, like, posters of him on my wall, and I really think back, like, man, my grandmother really let me have posters of this man in
Remember, like, those magazine posters with, like, B2K?
Yeah. It was The Rock. Like, no, I'm so here for him.
Oh, man.
But, yeah.
Who does that anymore? Do kids these days do that stuff?
I feel like
put posters on their wall?
Probably really died out after, like, Justin Bieber, One Direction, probably. Because I would come across magazines where there were, like, Bieber posters.
Yeah, but there were some magazines when we were younger were made specifically for
the posters,
for cutouts.
And yeah.
My cousin Erica had stuff all over her wall, including B2K. Like, that was the thing to do.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a poster, something was wrong with you.
Yeah, yeah. Granted, my room looked a little bit more like, you know, a white girl, because all mine's like Backstreet Boys and stuff. But, I don't know, something about B2K. Love their music and stuff, but I wasn't
No. I did bump that album, though.
Right, it was a great album.
Yeah.
Beautiful gowns.
Beautiful gown.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's finally fucking gone.
Yay.
After that, they were like, we're done filming. She's like, okay, he said, you can't agree to not doing that. Then we're done filming. She's like, well, we're done filming then.
All right.
And then, of course, she went and sued them for $5 million. It's like, it's not going to fly.
Yeah,
because
like,
they gave you an option. They didn't say you're fired. Yeah. They said, you can do that. And it's on camera. Like,
and I'm pretty sure it's in your contract that you've signed of like...
And he even said, this is not for me. This is higher than me.
Yeah.
So for him, he's the big boss executive producer of MTV, the whole franchise.
Yeah.
So he's getting to the point where people of Viacom, I guess, is like, no. We want no parts. We don't want any type of anything dealing with Vivid or, you know, this is like not anything that I want to deal with. And the only reason why I know about Vivid is because that's like the main adult entertainment company that like gets all these homemade sex tapes of Kim Kardashian and Mimi and all of them, including Farrah. So they're known for like paying out people to have these sex tapes. Yeah. And then they try to profit off that, like, oh, well, we can make you all this money and blah, 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 blah. So that's why Mimi did this whole lie about the sex tape getting out, because they already had the tape. Yeah. They sold it because she needed the money. But anyway, Caitlyn had to go back to, like, a facility for, like, depression and stuff because she had a miscarriage. And it just sent her off the wall. Like, she was, she was already, like, threatened suicide, and Tyler kind of put it like, well, every pregnancy she's had has been some type of trauma. Baby number 1, she gave up for adoption. Baby number 2, she had postpartum depression. Baby number 3, she had a miscarriage. And they were trying to have a second baby. So, I mean, a third baby. So it was kind of like, yay, you're pregnant, yay. And then the next minute she bleeds and then the baby's gone. So she went into this huge spiral of like depression, and which she's always been very vocal about. Oh, my throat. She's always been very vocal about. So they were like, oh, we got to get you to a treatment center. And that was like a day or two after Tyler took Butch to rehab.
Oh, Jesus, that's a lot.
So yeah, it's like a lot on him. I feel like he needs to have some type of counseling or therapy. Yeah. Because even his mom was like, you need to, like, do something for yourself. Like, you're always focusing on your dad and, you know, Caitlyn. Like, I love Caitlyn, but I'm still worried about you and your mental health. Like, he's like, I don't sleep. I get irritated. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to get something, too, because now everything falls back on him. Right. Because Zaz's away. His wife's away. He has a baby to take care of, you know, kids to take care of. So I'm hoping that he gets help, too. In the last episode, Macy went to go visit her because they started showing like them interacting together. They've only done it for like 2 seasons or something like that. And she didn't know that Macy had a miscarriage earlier. They didn't really share it with anybody, so that was really nice of her to like, well, I heard that, she's in facility, so I'm just going to go and like talk to her, and they really helped each other in that sense. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, Amber is being Amber, pregnant with her new man. I don't know. We'll just probably discuss that later because there's going to be some more stuff coming up. There was the finale of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I would say the 3 to 4 episodes without Kenya was probably the most pleasant.
Yeah.
Even though it was still drama.
Yeah.
But I felt like Kenya's drama is like the most pettiest and unnecessary. Because she's always just doing stuff. It's like, why?
Right.
Why? Like, if something happens and it's like, it wasn't intent to be shady or petty, then it's like, okay, well, I have a problem with what you said.
Yeah.
And, oh, really? Like, that's kind of different. But when you're, like, poking at people to be petty, it's annoying. Yeah. So, with her not being in, like, 4 episodes was, like, wonderful to me. And then she comes back, and she's back to her petty self. Mm-hmm. She went to Portia's play. 2 can play that game in Atlanta. Yeah. And her interviews are like, well, she, showed up for my...
Wanda was in.
Yes, the one, Mm-hmm. She was like, oh, well, she showed up for my PSA, and, I'll just show up for her. And so, Portia's character was like a big-time career woman, but she was also a hoe or whatever.
Gabrielle Union's character.
I guess. I never saw the movie. Not in full.
Yeah.
And then her interviewers was like, oh, well, she's playing this. I mean, she's perfect for this role. And it's like, why are you there?
Yeah.
If you're going to talk, you showed up because she was in your PSA. Yeah. She didn't talk shit about you in your PSA. Mm-hmm. Why show up? Yeah. If you're just going to talk shit.
And she's another one of those people that's like, when someone does hit below the belt, I just don't feel sorry for her. Like, I guess, like, Marlo was like, something wrong with your own mama don't fuck with you. And people was like, well, that's below the belt. Certain people, like, you have to be a very low type of person for me personally to be like, no matter what no one says to you, I don't have any sympathy for you. Because you spew so much just evilness and negativity towards people that for some reason you still expect, like, that people don't cross a certain line with you or something like that. Like, it was low, but how many below the belt comments have you said to people since you've been on this show?
Right. So,
no, I don't know. I don't doubt it was hurtful. And Jen, just the way Marlo said it, well, if your own mama don't mess with you, that alone should say,
Lord have mercy.
And she did not apologize at all. But it's like,
Yeah. I mean...
You said your fair share. You may not have said it to Marlo in that second, but it's like...
Which she never really does. She very rarely tells that person to their face. Yeah. Especially in a one-on-one or something like that. It's always like that reminds me of somebody from college. Yeah. It's always in a situation where you have an audience. Yeah. Like, you have an audience because you want to be known as the shadiest person of the Atlanta Housewives and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, get over yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, you have nothing to show except for a husband.
Somebody said, it was like, Kenya been waiting all her life to throw that husband card.
Right?
Around. Like,
she waited 47 years to throw the husband card. Like,
at least I have a husband now.
I'm like,
paid him enough.
In Cynthia's, in Nene's, she's way behind. Even Portia was married before she was. So... It's like, you have a husband, but that doesn't make you the Queen of Sheba. Right.
And all the following people that you have been with prior to your husband, you are damn near trying to force marriage. So it's like, your husband low-key could have been anybody that would have just been like, let's get married.
And she even talked shit about Vivica A. Yeah, of course. While she's like, oh, she looks terrible. Mm. And she's like, well, she's doing the same thing 20 years and 20 surgeries later. And I know they have some issues when they were on Celebrity Apprentice. But it's like, you don't really care for Portia. You have problems with Vivica. You know both of them are in the play. Why the fuck go?
Why are you there?
Why?
And I guarantee you, Portia had more lines in that play than you've had in all of your movies combined. Because I've seen a lot of Kenya Moore movies. Well, they weren't Kenya Moore movies.
She was just in them.
But every one that you had a cameo in had no more than 5 lines. I can give you a playlist right now. Waiting to Exhale. Hey, Tony, you ain't danced with me all night. Deliver Us from Eva. If you keep looking at her, I'm going to slap the taste out of your mouth. What else? Martin, I look good. Like, you're like a one-liner.
She was really just the looker. Like, she wasn't really...
With like 1 or 2 lines.
Even in her own movies, she didn't really do much.
Right.
Right? I don't know which movies were hers.
I think she was in like a BET popular straight to BET movie, Trois or something. I've heard a lot about it, but I've never seen it. And I forgot, because there's, like, some pretty well-known black people in there. Uh-huh. But I forgot. Yeah, it's, I think Ronnie from the Players Club was in it.
Lord.
I like Ronnie.
I do, too.
She's got spunk.
Oh, Ronnie was on some episodes of Yama last season.
Sure was. That's how it made me remember her.
Yeah. So, speaking of Kenya, she and Michael Rappaport were on Watch What Happens Live.
Yes.
And, oh my God, it went to the left.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I know she tries to do all that shady stuff on Housewives.
Yeah.
But people outside of that, you need to be prepared about what they can give back to you. Because you're used to portioning them and what they can probably say and do and blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to people outside of that, you can get the tracks that you try to make seem like you don't wear snatched out of your head.
Yeah.
and
at first I was like, ooh, okay, she's being Kenya or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I fucking hate that I even have to say this. But apparently, allegedly, the reason why there was so much tension was because before the show even started filming, he somehow got a picture of her while she was getting ready and did a side-by-side of a gorilla. And I said, as a white man, and I don't even like Kenya, but I'm like, but as a white man, and I guess he does have a history of saying really, I didn't do research on this, but apparently he has a really deep history of saying like really disrespectful shit to black women. And some people have said like he feels like because he's been in a few, John Singleton movies, he knows black people, he's been friends with them, like I can just say whatever. And apparently it was like, oh. So apparently their whole beef with each other was...
No, I heard that it was something had happened before then. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look it up now and see exactly what had happened.
Yeah.
But I was just going based off of that.
Right, yeah, because I saw it too, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, white people should know, anytime we bring up a black person and monkey,
gorilla, anybody in the family,
you about to get it. So I see here Michael Rappaport compares Kenya to an ape, so disrespectful, and this was posted like a day ago. I don't know if it was like more recent, or it was before then, but I knew that something happened before this whole situation, and he went on her ashy feet.
Oh, those damn feet.
And I was like, damn, it's not the first time people talked about her ashy.
Still ashy.
Bye, Ashy.
Right. 7 seasons later.
7 seasons later. Bye, Ashy.
Right.
Well, with that being said, I don't really have anything to say about that because I feel like whatever she said, he kind of deserved it.
Yeah.
You can't do stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
I was like, ooh. Because when I saw it, I was like, ooh, okay. Like, this is a lot, Kenya. And then hearing that, I'm like, well, you know what? If there was any time for you to, I guess, really be a shady bitch, I guess this was a deserved time.
Yeah.
But it was like, ooh.
Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't know exactly what happened for them to go head to head like that.
I'm like, this is intense.
Honestly, this is when you start. These are the things that you have to. This is when you involve your husband.
Yeah.
I'm not. If I have a man that's supposed to be my protector, I'm not about to sit up here and let you talk to me any kind of way. Go talk to my husband.
Yeah.
And if she really had that big of an issue with him, I would have been like, I'm sorry, but I can't do the show. She wanted to talk so much about Kim. Mm-hmm. This is when you can stand up and say, I'm not in a contractual obligation to be with him.
Show after this has just been posted. So no, not doing it.
You have to, come on, Andy.
Or you know what? My husband will do it instead. Or he'll be right next to me when something like.
Yeah, I felt like I read something to where they got into it because I didn't hear the ape thing or the gorilla thing. I just kind of heard that he was kind of just talking shit about Kenya being a housewife, but not about what she looked like.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that those things about Serena.
Yeah.
And that's not cool either.
Right.
So, no. Anyway, moving on. Nene and her Halloween costume. Oh, yeah. I mean, we saw it already on social media back in last year, the end of last year. But just seeing it and seeing Kim's reaction was like, ugh. Oh my God.
Right.
She really wore that? And Crow was like, I love it. Right. He didn't say, he was like, I love I mean, it is mainly her issue. She has such a problem with Nene that, but Croy personally, I guess, doesn't have an issue with her. Well, not yet, because she did say something about the whole family being racist. So we'll see where that goes in the reunion. But I just feel like Kim just needs to stay on her own show.
Mm-hmm. That comes out every 2 years. She's like, it's been out for 7 years. My show's been 7 seasons, but it's been like 14 years. Like, y'all don't run regularly. I don't feel like it.
I feel like for a while it wasn't running, but I feel like they do have at least 5 to 6 seasons under their belt.
Yeah. But I know it has been on for a while, but I'm like, I feel like I don't see it every year.
Well, it started after she got married, so. Yeah. I don't know. Well, you probably don't even catch it, so.
And then I don't even barely see, like, previews. Like, here and there. It's like, oh, new season. And then I see another preview. I'm like, okay. Well.
Yeah, I don't think they promote it as much as, like, Housewives or something like that. So I feel like the only people who really stand for it really catch it and watch it, religiously and consistently. But, I just feel like she just needs to go back to your own show. I feel like you're one of the housewives they didn't need to bring back. Yeah. And this whole situation with her being Velcro with Croy is so irritating to me because she can't even go to an event and like be present. She's always like, well, let me see what Croy's doing. Let me text Croy. Croy this, Croy that. My 6 kids. I got 6 kids. It's like, okay, we understand that. But you have 6 kids and like 3 million nannies, a chef, and like you don't. Yeah. And 2 of those kids are super grown. So what is the point of you bringing them up?
And one's about to get her ass beat if she keep talking to these grown women like she crazy.
You know what? I was really trying to like.
Just saying.
Come on, Brielle. Just
somebody's daughter.
Yeah,
you gonna find a niece or something that's gonna somebody like.
I mean, that's why you stay out of grown folks' business.
You do.
As grandma used to say, stay out of grown folks. And I started saying that to my son, like, stay out of my mouth. Yeah. But yeah, she's about to get into it. So I already know this reunion is about to be explosive and bringing up Brielle. I feel like she was at the reunion and Croy was there too. Because Kim had walked off, like, with her red cup. And her lips look horrible in the preview. They look so overplumped, more than usual. And I just feel like she just needs to go and stay.
Just go away.
On her own show. And I'm fine with Eva replacing Kenya. I know other people are like, they stand for Kenya. That's cool. Y'all like who y'all want to like. Mm-hmm. I can't stand the chick. Bless you. Right. I feel like she was talking about somebody's husband about paying. Oh, she was talking shit about Marlo because she was Baps. Yeah. And she brought like a little white guy that's supposed to be like her sugar daddy or whatever. And she was like, you always pay. It's sad that you have somebody like pay to come and be your date or something. And I'm thinking,
I know you.
Wait. You're saying that?
I know you're not talking.
Since the first season she was on the show, it's been
emphasized
rumored.
like everybody you date is like a paid actor.
Yes.
Like, you're known for that. Okay.
It's like, why? I would be careful about what I say because I don't want something personally for me to be fueled up and brought up again.
Bravo to rewind the tape. How many of you guys think that their relationship was fake? I mean, I like you, Kenya, but I think it was Nene that said that. Yeah.
And now because she has a husband, which on paper is probably true.
Yeah.
And then I saw the episode that he was on. He was like on the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, her husband's supposed to be on the show. I want to see this. I watched it and I was like, yeah, something's off. Like, I'm really not trying to talk shit, but it just seemed so off to me.
Yeah.
Like how she was leaning into him, but he's kind of like, meh. And his nose pierced, and he's like in his 40s. He said he got it done like 2 years. Sheree old petty ass. Oh, you got your nose pierced? I want to get mine pierced too. Where'd you get yours pierced? In her interview. What? I haven't seen nose being pierced since Tupac. I was like, he was like, yeah, I just wanted to try something. I was like, why you want to try that now? In your 40s. And you're a business owner?
Yeah.
Or a drug lord?
You decide. No.
But it just seemed... And one thing I really caught, I don't know if anybody else caught it, he walked in while she was about to present the PSA. While the PSA is playing, mind you, this is a PSA about domestic violence. This is something that you want everyone to pay attention to. Even myself.
Right.
Because I feel like I owe the people who took the time out to tell their stories that I'm paying attention to them. So as it's playing, she goes to the back and she's like, hey, honey, you look great and blah, blah, while the PSA is going.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, if that's your husband and he's here, you know you're going to see him later. Why can't you wait till the PSA is over? I don't care how many times you've seen it for editing purposes. Right. I feel like you have to be kind of sensitive and be present. If I were her, I would sit with the victims.
Yeah, that's...
I would not be worried about my husband that just flown in.
Look, she paid a lot of money for him to be complicit in, her storyline. She has to make sure that he's cooperating.
As I put my lip balm on.
Right.
Girl. I just felt like it was kind of weird. I'm like, oh, he's handsome. And, y'all hate to stop talking. It's like, that don't mean nothing. That means absolutely somebody's looks and the fact that we finally see him on camera.
That was like, okay, so it means like him showing up was more about appearances than...
Cynthia forgets that she didn't even want her to see her husband.
Right.
And they're supposed to be best friends?
Yeah.
No. Do you know how mad I'm going to get if you were run off and get married and not tell me?
Yeah.
I'm going to be so upset.
And then be like, well, I didn't think I had to tell you. I didn't tell anybody.
How dare you?
But then there's guests seated like, so how did they know?
Exactly. Whatever. That's just how you just know how your friendship stands when there's certain things like that and you're not being told. It's like you thought you were best friends, but
maybe show best friends.
Huh?
So maybe show best friends.
But then again, Cynthia kind of takes her friendships a little too seriously.
Yeah.
So
because I even noticed that on Black Ink when they told Sky about Donna's thing. I'm like, why doesn't she already... If they are really that close... True. Why is she just now finding out through you guys?
Well, then again...
I know how...
I don't think Donna actually told anybody. It was just because they called Mo. So I feel like it is... If it were something that happened to me, I don't think I would be calling and telling anybody. Yeah. Especially since I got like 3 things in once. Yeah. You're pregnant. We got to terminate. By the way, you lost your uterus.
And then, like, even the way Sky reacted. Like, what? Well, I know my bitch is going to pull through. So, what else has been going on?
And that's like, did you just hear that?
Did you not just hear?
This is her uterus.
Like, I know, like, it's filmy and other stuff, but I'm like, even if Donna didn't tell me, if they would have told me, I kind of would have been like,
I probably would have left and went to her house.
been
Like, I
okay,
need to go see if she's fine.
at
Okay.
least something.
And let her know that I'm here, even though I didn't know at the time. Like,
Yeah.
something. No, yeah, I would
Certain
have
stuff like that.
reacted a little bit differently once I did find out.
I guess, like housewife shows and stuff like that. Like, they're better with stuff like that versus Black Ink. It's like, I feel like I just found out the scope of y'all friendship filming.
Yeah. Well, so the reunion's gonna come on. I kind of wanted to touch on Real Housewives of Potomac.
Oh, yes.
That started
yes,
yesterday.
yes.
I really enjoyed Potomac.
Yeah.
It was this whole production of Karen Huger.
Yeah.
Of wife of Black Bill Gates.
Yeah.
How he owed some money, and it was like news clippings and blogs
Right.
and pictures and dun dun dun.
Right.
It was just so dramatic. Like, oh, you heard what happened to Karen? Karen said, I didn't know.
Yeah.
My husband didn't tell me. I don't owe shit. My husband's company does.
That's not me.
She said, I'm loaded.
Right. I'm good.
She was like, you got to make millions to owe millions.
I was like, that's right.
She
Because
really.
I owe some hundreds here and there, but I ain't got millions. So you right.
Yeah, you. And then she was like, well, I didn't know, and blah, blah, blah. And she told Robin in confidence because somebody from the newspaper called her and like, heads up, we're about to run this story in like 2 hours. So then she called Robin, tried to like confide in her, was talking to her for a couple hours. And Robin was going through her own financial situation with her ex-husband, living ex-husband.
Whatever.
Okay, yeah, that's a whole different story.
It is.
But then she wound up talking to the girls about it, and then she tried to say, well, I don't believe her, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you didn't believe her, I would just, like, not really had, let her have this long, drawn-out conversation with me if I didn't believe anything that she was saying. Because, yes, they didn't understand why she was moving out of Potomac, because she says she's the Grand Dame of Potomac, and all of a sudden she was moving out of the zip code, Maryland.
Right.
And I think Great Falls is Virginia. I don't even think it's Maryland anymore. So, all the little itty states are right next to each other. So that was like the whole opener of the situation. Monique and her husband moved. Ashley and her Australian husband are still going through it.
Of course.
Yeah. Because now
restaurant food is nasty. You can't have a successful relationship when you making nasty-ass food.
With Emu and some weird ass shit.
How dare
she said that the restaurant is doing better, but the problem now is that he wants her to stop paying for her mom, like her bills. She said she got her mom a house, she got her mom a car, and he's like, you kind of can't do that. And I feel like she's like, well, my money is your money is my money, and my money is my money, and it's causing him to be like, stop letting her be a freeloader.
Yeah.
And so now that's the new argument is,
right.
So now there's this whole thing. Now she put herself between her husband and her mom. And her mom kind of was saying, like, I don't want to be your burden. Like, I don't want you to do these things for me. But I feel like she feels so compelled to owe her mom so much because her mom did so much for her and her brother when she was younger. Which a lot of us is like, what, if I could, I can buy my mom a house. Or if I could, I can, like, have my mom have the finest things in life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it shouldn't come at the expense of your marriage.
Yeah, especially if, and I hate to say it again, like I know people say, when we get a relationship, your money is my money and my money is your money. If he was the one that came to the relationship with all the money, to some extent, you kind of can't be like, well, it's our money, and then just have a free-for-all. Like, yes, paying, like, you still, to some extent, have to be...
That's where the communication about finances between partners in a relationship or marriage has to be discussed.
Right. And then you kind of got to look at it like, well, I mean, is he supporting his parents? Or how, like, if he has, like, well, yeah, I do help my parents time to time, but it's like a strict budget or it's a certain amount. But you sitting here like, well, my mom's about to get this 4,000 square feet home, a brand new BMW. I don't know what type of car it is. Yeah. Like, you can't, not if you didn't come to the relationship or bringing some type of income.
I think that's kind of what the issue is. It's like, she I don't know, because I don't want to count her money. I don't really care about all of that. But I feel like if he feels like a lot of the money that's coming in is really from me and my businesses, and I don't mind you having the money, but I'm not married to your mom. Like, I didn't marry you so I can take care of her.
Right.
Like, our priority is to make sure our household is taken care of. Nobody wants to be to where, like fucking Acrimony, where I'm taking care of all his stuff, but I can't pay the mortgage and stuff that I took out on my house because I'm helping your ass.
Yeah, and then his finances take a left. And it's like, how did we get here? It's like, well, I mean, you were so busy just doing this, that, and everything that, like, you probably, I'm not going to assume, but you probably aren't even really keeping track of the money. You're just like, oh, money's there, let me spend it. And I don't know. You kind of just got to be very cautious with that type of thing. Like, obviously, of course, we would all want to help our parents or family members if we can, but you got to proceed with caution with that. Yeah.
So that's a new thing with them. Okay. What's going on with Robin? Robin apparently is fixing things with her ex-husband.
No, she's not. I mean, okay.
She said that he's sleeping in the bed with her now. Ooh, and they do have sex.
A step up.
Literally a step up the stairs.
Literally.
Who am I missing? Oh, what's up? Giselle. Giselle's still in the relationship with her boyfriend that was at the reunion last season. Oh, because there was a long break in between the last season and this season.
Yeah, okay.
And they've been together for like over a year. She seems happy, and she really likes chocolate men.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, it's great.
Yeah,
her girls are really big now. Like they're like, I think the oldest are like 12 or 13.
Yeah,
so they gotten grown and all that, and then there's going to be a new housewife coming in.
Oh,
and she's not Miss USA, is it North America? It was bigger than Miss USA. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of shade towards Kenya, though, a little bit. I don't know. Vivica was like, Miss USA 1993. Oh, Jesus. And the sad part is that she's no longer Miss USA to me. Yeah. She's Kenya, the petty bitch. Yeah. In my mind. Right. And it's sad because when she went to that camp with Phaedra, it was like, well, this should be more of what you're doing, especially being that you were a Miss USA at one point in time. But now you're just known about being petty all the fucking time. And yeah, she was like a Victoria's Secret model at that Halloween party. I'm like, well, Victoria's Secret models wear two pieces. Right. And I was thinking, like, I haven't really seen her in, like, a two-piece in a while. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Moving on. But, yeah, so that was the gist of the first episode of Potomac. New York starts tomorrow. Yes. And so we'll discuss that in the next episode.
I was able to catch up on Braxton Family Values.
Damn it, that's what I wanted to talk about, too.
Really good, really good.
Do you want to wait?
We can, yes.
Okay. We'll discuss that next week because it is more than one episode and I don't think we have time to discuss. Plus my throat hurts. So, anyway, make sure you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at RealiTEA-V. You can, listen to us on Apple Podcasts, or iTunes, whatever floats your boat, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and YouTube.
Yes, we're everywhere.
And you can reach me personally Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Funmi and on Snapchat at Ebony88.
Yes, you can reach me on Facebook, Roberta Smith, because that's my name.
Don't wear it out.
Right. You can also reach me on Instagram, Leave It to Be Living. And before we wrap this up, I just want to send a nice little quick recovery prayer to Love and Hip Hop New York former star Emily B. Hope she gets better. All that stuff. Well, we know Fabulous was officially charged today, but I know there was reports about, like, her teeth being knocked out.
Yeah.
And I did see, like, videos of, like, her and him in an altercation.
At the house with her
yeah,
dad.
And I always, like, remember good things about Emily on Love and Hip Hop. So I know, like, at her core, she's a really sweet girl. So hopefully her and her family is okay. So, yeah, that's what I have for today.
All right. Well, yeah, I think I heard the news and I was kind of like, fuck, really?
Yeah.
But I had kind of been hearing stuff throughout the years, unfortunately. Yeah. So it wasn't like a complete shock, sad to say. So I'm hoping that she kind of, you know, can just... Her dad, I will say, having a dad as a protector, like, it made me feel good that at least her dad was trying to, you know, be there for his daughter. So, but I hope things work out for them and whatever. I mean, we weren't there, so we don't know really the whole situation, what happened, but I hope they both get whatever they need to get better and do better. And
then just that little video clip I saw, like, I could just hear, like, fear.
Oh yeah, she was scared. Voice, so. She was completely out of it.
Yeah.
And they didn't know they were being recorded. So that's all natural behavior. So her running away the way she did and screaming.
Right. And I couldn't see, but it looked like he had a weapon, like a knife or something.
I heard that he did have something in his hand, yeah. He was charged for arrested for making terroristic threats and domestic something. Like it was, it's... And they have kids together. They've been together since, mind you, the beginning of Love and Hip Hop season 1. So we're talking
way before that,
more than 10 years. Mm-hmm. And they, I don't know.
Yep. But yes, hope everything gets better with that. Hope you all have a great week, and thanks for tuning in.
Bye.